And a good evening to you. I am First Alert meteorologist David Ernst here with a weather update. If you are watching on Facebook, would appreciate it if you head over to my personal page, David Ernst, WBAY meteorologist, and follow me there. I'll post updates to the page that you may not always see on the main station page, and you'll have a chance to interact, ask questions. Of course, we've got this on YouTube. You should be able to find it in the weather app, or the news app, excuse me. And if you'd like to download our weather app, I do have the QR code for that there on the screen. It's going to be a relatively quiet night across the area for most of us. There is the potential for some light snow. Right now, the steadiest snow looks like it is really out over Lake Michigan at the present time, but there could be say an inch or so in it around places like Fond du Lac and Sheboygan southward overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. But the steadier snows are going to be missing us to the south for sure. Down across central and northern Illinois, it would just be a few flakes at this point. It looks like the system really is tracking farther north. So let's go ahead, or farther south, excuse me. Let me go ahead and get things switched back over to my computer here, and we'll get going. So a little disturbance coming by. You can see the light snow there, a few flakes flying into eastern parts of Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties, a little bit of steadier activity towards the Dells, southwestern Wisconsin, but nothing that is really substantial. So I would say that even a fresh coating at this point looks like it may be a little bit of a stretch. We are certainly coming out of a very cold period here, really since the weekend. We've had frigid temperatures. These were the lows this morning. We had single digits on either side of zero across most of eastern Wisconsin, down to -3 for a low in Green Bay, but -9, I believe, is the coldest that we have been over this stretch. High temperatures making some improvement there. We had teens for the most part, a few high single digits across northern areas, but still it is milder than it was earlier in the week. I believe on Tuesday, I think we had a high of 2. So that was our coldest afternoon since February of 2021. We had an afternoon there where the temperature was only 1 degree for the afternoon high. So let's go ahead and get into the forecast here. Let me pull up First Alert Pinpoint Predictor, and you will see the few flakes flying south. Not a whole lot going on, though. In fact, I would say this run of Predictor is probably even less snowier than the one before it. So not expecting much more than anything other than a fresh coating or a dusting down towards the Fond du Lac, Sheboygan areas into southern Wisconsin. Tomorrow, what we'll be watching for, and you see it out over Lake Michigan, some lake-enhanced snow showers. Winds are going to allow for the potential for some of that snowfall to make it right along the immediate lakeshore, so it's possible that we do see a little bit of accumulation lakeside, but anywhere else during the day Friday really shouldn't be much more than just a few flurries. Here is the forecast. This was from the National Weather Service for that snowfall to the south, and even this might be a little overdone. I'll be updating those numbers here coming up in about a half an hour. So not expecting a heavy snowfall tonight by any means, but there could be a fresh dusting. Something I do want to call your attention to is going to be a system that will come into the area next week. Now, out ahead of that, we're going to be looking at a nice warm-up. We'll see our temperatures push into the 30s for highs. So we have been very cold lately. We had some single-digit highs looking at mid-teens, upper teens through the weekend, which is still below average. Our normal high is actually the coldest that it gets all year, 25 degrees, and we will stay at that level through the rest of this month. I believe on January 31st, the average high bumps up to 26. Our low temperature average is 10 degrees for tomorrow morning, and that continues through the end of the month, and then in February, we'll see that bump back to 11. So from a climatological standpoint, we are at our coldest point of the year. So there's going to be a system coming in that helps warm us up. And as that system arrives, we will see the potential for some snowfall. Now, initially, it looked like that system would bring more of a wintry mix to the area and not as much in the way of accumulating snow. But the way things have been trending of late, it would seem that we may be in store for more snow than anything else. So I'm going to go ahead. We'll use the same graphic that I put up during the newscasts. If you watch, I like to do a split screen here with our American GFS weather model on one side and the European on the other. Now, this is really just a measure of confidence to show you that both of the models are handling a system in the same way, or if the opposite is the case, where there really is not a lot of consistency or consensus among them, and the forecast is kind of all over the place. So anytime you see these two kind of in lockstep with one another, it would just lead me to believe that we're looking at the more likely scenario, that I have more confidence in that forecast than I would if the two models you're about to see here were in completely different ballparks. But the forecast is very similar, and again, it has taken more of a snowier turn. So we'll start it out on Monday with quiet weather. Temperatures Monday will be right around the freezing mark. Late, we will see a rain-snow mix does start to arrive, but as we get into the night, temperatures should be cold enough across the area that what we see is going to be snow. And you'll notice as we get into 9 o'clock there on Tuesday morning, we do have some steadier snowfall around central and eastern Wisconsin, and especially southern Wisconsin, where you see those deeper shades of blue is where that snow is at its heaviest. And we continue in that fashion for a good part of the day on Tuesday. It won't be until late Tuesday that we perhaps do see a little bit of that wintry mix as everything is winding down. Something else that we saw today in terms of a guidance shift has been for the deeper moisture coming off the Gulf of Mexico to kind of be shunted to our south and east. Yesterday it was looking like Wednesday could be a relatively rainy day, and perhaps even on Thursday. Now it looks like most of that moisture ends up to our east. But there could be a few inches of snowfall in it for us, so that's definitely a part of the forecast that you will want to continue to touch base with us about is that Tuesday system, as it looks like Tuesday could be something of a snowier day. Once the milder air arrives, it looks like temperatures will remain above average for a good part of the country as we close out January and head into February. So not seeing any questions here on Facebook. I will go ahead and leave you then with the 7-day forecast. I'll go back through the feed here in a little bit. If anyone has a question, feel free to ask it on the WBAY TV2 page, or you could go ahead and find me on Facebook and ask it there. So again, light snowfall is possible tonight across southern areas. Not much in it, though. We'll see temperatures in the teens for highs through the weekend, and then we will start to trend milder next week. But as that mild air arrives, there will be the possibility for a round of wet snowfall on Tuesday. Once that system is gone, a lot of cloud cover hanging around, temperatures will be milder, and when you get that warmer air hovering over the snowpack, as the snow is melting, it puts a lot of moisture up into the atmosphere, and it's likely that we will see areas of fog developing, so reduced visibility and travel hazards. That will be something to watch out for as we get into the end of next week. So even though we'll be enjoying some milder temperatures, there will still be some weather hazards brought about by that. And then, of course, as the snow is melting, if storm drains are clogged up with ice and leftover snow, there might even be some minor street flooding to watch out for as well. So hope you have a safe night, and we'll be here on Action 2 News coming up at 10 o'clock in about a half an hour. And after that, you can check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Balon and Catherine starting at 4:30 on Action 2 News this morning. And they'll let you know if the snow maybe came in a little heavier than expected tonight, if there are any travel issues, and of course, get you set up for the weekend forecast.